Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. How's everyone doing? Another day, another dollar. Get the likes up as we enter the chat. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Music sounds like it's from Bloodsport. What's Bloodsport? I'm not sure what that is. I'm gonna have to look that up. Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing? I love that music, man. Synthwave is some of the best music. I like synthwave. Anything synthwave, it's a genre. I'm sure you guys are aware. I love that genre. It's just chill. It's a good vibe. Good vibes. How we doing? How we doing? Smiling your thumbnails. Alright, I'll smile for you. I'll smile for you, Logan. Only for you. Do I use Bookmap or footprint charts? No. No. I use price action. Price action. All right, well, welcome back, guys. How we doing? The weather is beautiful, man. It's in the 60s this morning. It is, what is it? It's 56. 56 degrees in Naples, Florida today. Very nice. Beautiful. Let's go Rangers? Absolutely. Absolutely, let's go Rangers. That's all I got left, man. That's all I got left is the New York Rangers. Westbury, welcome. AH is after hours. I think that's what you're referring to. All right, so let's get started. Today, Tesla, Netflix earnings. Tesla and Netflix earnings. Some big stuff, right? And hopefully a little bit of a catalyst is what we need. A little bit of a catalyst for this pretty sideways market, right? Not too much volatility in the market as of late. Hopefully this earnings season will kick off a little bit of volatility for us. This would be very nice. Tesla, Netflix, absolutely. Oh, that's loud. Hold on, guys. How loud is that? It's like clipping. Let me lower that. Tesla, Netflix, absolutely should give us a little opportunity, right? So we'll see what happens on that. I'm not going to trade Tesla today. I'm not going to trade Netflix today. I'm not trading the stocks that have earnings approaching, right? The implied volatility is very high. The choppiness has been there. So let's stay away from those, right? Let's stay away from trading those pre-earnings. We can absolutely look for those tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is the day we want to look for that continuation. We want to look for that movement after the earnings reports, right? That's when we take advantage. On the continuation move, at least that's what I like to do. So that's big. That's really the main event. Let's go ahead and pull up the schedule. Right, because that's why we're here. We're here for the schedule. So the schedule today, we're obviously going to look at Tesla and Netflix. Tesla, Netflix, ER. We'll take a look at those two. We'll look at the expected moves. We'll get an idea of what to expect on that, on the earnings. NVIDIA 430. This is a big level today. NVIDIA moving lower yesterday on that news. We got that pretty much right after the live stream ended yesterday. We got some news about NVIDIA, about semiconductor sales being restricted in China, and that caused some downside on the semiconductors yesterday morning. So we'll take a look at NVIDIA again today. AMD 105, big level today, something I'm absolutely watching. Google, big 4-hour big 4-hour uptrend that I'm keeping my eye out for. I'm in a put position right now. I don't really feel that confident about it as of yet, but I did want to take a little shot yesterday. I had a nice profit on the day, so I figured let me go ahead and take a shot on this Google. So I am in some Google puts this morning, so we'll see how those play out. Meta, Amazon, and then Shopify. Shopify, not one that I watch too often as of late, but had a nice day yesterday to the upside, I think because of those retail sales, and it is holding a very interesting weekly chart. So Shopify sort of back on the radar here, and I will share with you guys why I'm putting that back on the radar. All right, let's get started. So let's pull up the earnings calendar. Let's do that real quick. So earnings calendar is right here. Pulling that up now. All right. I need some sound deadening in this room. When I move back to Naples, whenever that is, I'm gonna set up this office a little bit better. I need some sound. It's very echoey in here. So here's earnings. Right, here's earnings today. So today, guys, is Wednesday. ASML in the morning. Procter & Gamble, Morgan Stanley. Interesting ones this morning, but after hours today is the big event. Tesla, Netflix, those are going to be monstrous today. We'll see how those react. Should be fun to watch. It's fun to watch earnings when you don't put money in it, right? You don't have risk on the line. You just sort of watch it and enjoy it. So I'm excited to see what happens on those. Tomorrow, AT&T, TSM, American Airlines, and that's about it, right? That's about it. So Tesla, Netflix, after hours today. Big stuff, right? Big stuff. What did ASML do? Yeah, downside. Okay. So that could give you some idea of maybe what we see on semiconductors today. A little bit of downside on ASML here on earnings. 20-year bond auction today. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep that in mind and talk to the group about that later. Because the last time we had a bond auction, the market went straight down. So 20-year bond auction. Let me go ahead and pull up. Let me see if I can find that schedule real quick. Let me see if I can find that auction schedule. Okay, so here it is right here. Yeah, so here's the schedule. So 20-year bond right here, auction date is today. I don't know what time. Do you know the time, Winning? Do you know the time? Is it usually around like 1 o'clock? So 20-year bonds today. 2-year note is next week. Not sure what time this is at. I'll try to figure that out, guys, and get back to you in the chat. All right. Let's pull up the economic calendar, and then let's get started on some technicals. All right. So economic calendar. Yeah, it's usually 1 p.m., right? Okay. So 1 p.m. 1 p.m. bonds. You guys remember what happened last time at 1 p.m., right? I'm sure you remember that. All right, so here's the economic calendar today, Wednesday. You guys can see this morning housing starts building permits at 8:30. We'll see if there's any movement off that. Some Fed president speaking later in the day, 12:30. Tomorrow, you do have Jerome Powell speaking around 12 o'clock. So this could be a little bit interesting tomorrow. And then, of course, your normal jobless claims on Thursday. But today, I don't think it's too much, right? Not too much on the economic side. Housing starts building permits. I think just that 1 p.m., maybe 20-year bond auction could be something to watch. I wish they put it in on here. Maybe I might look around for a better economic calendar here, guys. Because that bond auction last time, which I was unaware of, full transparency, I was not aware that was happening, and it created a very large reaction in the market. So, especially with how much focus is on the 10-year right now, I think it's important to be focusing on when those bond auctions are. And so today at 1 p.m., 20-year bond auction should be probably the most important, one of the more important events of the day. Housing starts building permits in the pre-market. All right. So with that said, let's Let's do it. Let's get started. So, NASDAQ. Very cool. Cool. I don't know if cool is the right word here, but a very clean move yesterday. Very clean, very textbook, very based off of levels. And this was a pretty nice day, right? So yesterday, you guys saw, right? Yesterday morning, you guys saw us break under that 50 SMA, right? Break back under this supply, which is very heavy above, and we got a very nice downside move early morning yesterday, right? So that was a really clean move. We got some actual downside action. We got some actual continuation. We caught some puts. We caught some movement. You guys can watch my live trades from yesterday on my last video. I posted that yesterday on the channel. So we took some very nice Panda puts, very nice Nvidia puts. It was a very nice day to the downside. Now, the key point of yesterday, right? The most important thing yesterday you could have done, which is if you're in the group, you can vouch for me here, right? If you're in the voice chat and you trade live with me, you can vouch for me here. The most important thing that we did yesterday was profit take on put options at demand, right? This is so important. This is where people lose money on their puts. They hold too long. They say, why is the market going higher? I can't believe it. What is this bounce? This is bullshit. I'm so confused, right? No, you should not be confused, right? The reason the market bounced yesterday is very easy to understand, right? It is the fact that we moved down into demand. We moved down into that 20 SMA. We bounced right at Friday's lows, right? So this is your job as a trader on the intraday, especially understanding the current market conditions. You need to be taking profits at the key levels when they start to show, right? And so when we were in Nvidia puts, we were in Meta puts, I was in SPX puts, and as we were in those puts yesterday, we started to realize that the demand was stepping up at the Friday lows on the NASDAQ futures. This is where you need to make a conscious effort, right? This is where you need to make a conscious effort to exit your options, understand that demand is holding, and if you are in the downside, you need to trust that level, right? You can't sit in puts here and say, I hope that it breaks that low. I hope that it's gonna break down. I hope that it's gonna break down and I'm gonna see more downside, right? No, right? This is the problem that a lot of us have, right? This is where you need to trust your level. You need to understand risk reward, and you need to understand as we approach that demand, I need to be exiting my positions, right? And so for those that exited their positions, and honestly for those that understood the demand level and actually went long here yesterday, that was a fantastic trade, right? Well done. If you went long yesterday using that Friday low, using that 20 SMA as your guide, fantastic trade, guys, right? Beautiful upside move, right off your level, right off demand. You can't complain about that, right? You cannot complain about that. Very nice move back to the upside and very aggressive, right? Very aggressive as well. So that was very key yesterday, right? That was the key inflection point of the day, right? And no one should be surprised by that 15,060 level, right? We've had this on our screen for weeks. We've been talking about this previous high turning into demand, and it did the exact same thing yesterday. It did the exact same thing yesterday, right? So very clear. I mean, this is not, right? Once again, this is not difficult to read. It is a matter of if you can trust the level, right? And take the proper risk reward trade at that level, right? So even though the NASDAQ was flushing straight down yesterday and emotions would tell you that downside should continue, right? That's what your mind is telling you. If you trade based off the technical levels, this was actually the level to be long, right? This was the risk reward here was to be long. And that is exactly what happened. All right, so very nice. Once again, another example of technical levels running the market. You know, we see this on a daily basis. So today, what are you watching, right? If you see the NASDAQ moving lower today, you are not going to be shorting into 15,060, right? We're not shorting into a hole here at 15,060 and the 20 SMA. You start to take shorts here, maybe you're right? Maybe you get the flush, but you are totally flip-flopped on risk reward and taking trades at key levels, right? This is where, if anything, you look to see if the market holds, and look to see if another demand bounce steps in, right, at 15,060 and the 20 SMA. Now, of course, like we always say, we have to react to what we see. So if we do see a break and we do see a rejection, then yeah, right, we're jumping on those puts, right? If we see a break and hold below this double bottom, this could be one of the cleaner trades of the week, right? If we get a break and hold below Friday and yesterday lows, and we start to see those lows turn into rejection points, that could be a beautiful short side trade, right? And I would be all over that if that started to happen. Maybe this happens tomorrow after earnings, right? Maybe this starts tomorrow after earnings. Let's say Tesla and Netflix don't have great earnings. Let's say the NASDAQ breaks this low tomorrow. Maybe we step in tomorrow pre-market and there's a potential short opportunity under this level. Very possible, and something to be paying attention to. Now, this is where things get tricky for me, right? This is where things get very tricky, very uneasy, right? Very uneasy. I really do not like anything to the upside if we're anywhere near this zone above, right? And so the reason this zone is so large today for me, right? I know this is a very large zone, but I think this is an important, there's a reason why I've made this so large. Because what we've seen over the last 2 weeks is not really an exact level rejection. It's really been this entire zone between around this 15,260 and around this 15,380. Anywhere in this area, anywhere in this red zone, I would be a sweaty long, right? If I was long in anywhere in this zone, I'd be sweating, right? And I just don't really feel like doing that today, right? So if I see the NASDAQ up here, I'm not going to be the first guy longing this market, right? Because you would be longing back into yesterday's rejection points here. You'd be longing back into Monday's rejection points. You'd be longing back into the 100 SMA. You'd be longing into Friday's highs. You'd be longing into last Wednesday's highs. You'd be longing into last Tuesday's highs. And you'd be longing into this Thursday low, right? I just don't feel like there's going to be A+ opportunities starting your longs anywhere in this zone. It's just not really something I would get behind. So that's why I've created that zone sort of large today, because if I'm trading intraday, which I talk about, talk about all the time, guys, right? This is why I create zones. Because if I'm watching the NASDAQ, let's say on the 2-minute chart like this, and I start to see us trading into a red zone, then I have a quick, right? My mind can quickly analyze what's going on, right? So if I see the NASDAQ trading up in red, if my background on my charts are red, I automatically know, hey, maybe you think twice before taking a long at this area. Or same thing to the flip side. If I see the NASDAQ, and this is why I was exiting puts yesterday, right? Because I was watching the NASDAQ yesterday on the 2-minute chart, which I watch it on the intraday, and I started to see this, right? And I said to myself, hey, this is a green zone on your chart. You just saw a pretty nice bounce off that zone. And then I can relook at the level. Okay, what is this level? This is important demand. I need to get out of my put options, right? So it's the zones for me more than anything is that it's that ability to quickly react, right? And sometimes time is very important, right? When trading, especially with short-term option contracts. So this is how I'm setting up my charts today, right? It's a pretty, I don't know if the right word is buffer. I have a very large buffer up here. And I really am not going to be interested in longs, right? If we're starting to get in this area above, right? That's just not going to be a comfortable long for me today. So if the market does sort of just rip through this area, there's a very good chance that you guys see later today that I did not take any of those trades, or maybe I messed up a trade in some regard, right? Because this area is, in my opinion, heavy, right? And I really don't want to be long up into the 50 SMA, the 100 SMA, and some of these rejections that we've seen, all right? So that's very key and something I'd be paying attention to today. I got to be honest, guys. I think the cleanest trade out there, into end of week is going to be this, right? This is the cleanest trade out there. I hope we can see it. We'll have to get market weakness, but this is absolutely the cleanest trade because this would just be a beautiful break and hold of a double bottom into rejections. That's the cleanest trade of the week, if we can get that. We'll see. We'll see if it sets up. But there's your levels on the NASDAQ. There's sort of my mindset on it today. QQQ. Here's the QQQ. You pretty much have the same channel, right? 367.50 is sort of that intermediary level. You guys can see right here. You have that 367.50, 367.50, 367.50, 367.50, and again, you have the 367.50 yesterday, which definitely showed reactions, right? Look at the 2-minute chart yesterday on the QQQ. You can see this 367, 367.50 zone sort of held this market higher, right? So anywhere between, it's really, and of course the 50 and 100, but you guys can see here, 367.50s are holding, right? We're holding that 100, we're holding that 50, and look at where you're trading today, right? Look at where you're trading today. So you guys know my strategy. What am I going to be looking for today? I'm going to be looking to see, does the QQQ push higher and start to show rejections at 367.50, start to show rejections at the 150 SMA, right? At the 150 SMA, okay? Just reading the chat. Just being nosy. So 367.50, 50, 100 SMA above. Watch that zone. If the QQQ gets back above, then you probably start to hold above, right? Something to be paying attention to. However, this is the same concept I had for the NASDAQ futures, right? This is the same concept I had for the NASDAQ futures. I would be very cautious being long into these highs, right? Look how clear these highs are. Rejection, 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 right? Multiple rejections on every push to the upside. So you better be cautious, right? If you start to long this thing on a squeeze, you better be cautious of those rejections up there, right? There's no one to blame but yourself if you start to long up around this 370 area. There is every reason to know that there is supply up here. Every reason. It has shown you this for weeks. It has shown you rejections up here at 370 for weeks. Do not try to be the guy or girl that says this time it's going to break out. I know it, right? This is the time we're going to go through the highs. I'm going to long here at supply, and I know that this time around it's going to break out, right? Whoever said that last Tuesday lost. Whoever said that last Wednesday lost. Whoever said that on Thursday lost. Whoever said that on last Friday lost. Whoever said that yesterday on Monday lost. Whoever said that on Tuesday yesterday lost, right? So why long into that area? Why? Right? Because you think it's going to break out this time? No. Right? No. So 367.50, that's your intermediary level, and then obviously demand again is very clear below at 364, right? So that's your channel on the Qs. 364, 370, pretty much a 6-point range. Do I think your opportunities are the best right here? No, right? Do I think opportunities are better here and maybe better here? Absolutely, right? So I would look for maybe some shorts today up around 370. I would look for maybe some longs around 364. Do I think you're going to have the best opportunities as the QQQ is right in the middle of this channel? Not really, right? Not really. So something to be paying attention to. All right? 367.50. There it is. I just wanted to put that back on my charts there. All right. So, ES. So the ES is an interesting one today, right? And so here's it's a little bit of a different read on the ES. The ES was a little bit stronger than the NASDAQ yesterday because you primarily got downside on the tech stocks, right? Primarily got downside on stocks like NVIDIA, like AMD, because of that semiconductor news, that NVIDIA news. And so I think the ES was a little bit stronger than the others, right, yesterday. And you're still seeing that. I think maybe the banks are holding it up a tad as well. So where is the ES holding this morning? 43.80, right? 43.80, 43.80, 43.80. That's sort of that ES level that I would be watching today. Does the ES remain above 43.80? Yesterday, intraday, you can see the demand stepped in pretty much all day around this 43.80, 43.77 area, right? We just sort of maintained above it all day yesterday and into this morning. If you get below that level, right, then your next demand is down at this 43.60. I'm going to actually move this up. 43.60. That's your next demand, right? About 20 points lower. I'm going to go to the 30-minute chart so you guys can see why it's that level. Here's the 30-minute on the ES, right? So if you break the 43.80, then you're going to come down into the lows from yesterday. You're going to come down into the demand here. You're going to come down into the demand here on Thursday, right? And why did the ES hold yesterday, right? Why did the ES hold yesterday? The ES held yesterday because it moved down into these demand zones, right? Around the 43.60. So if you do try to short the ES today, you better be careful of the 43.60, right? You got to be careful of the 43.80. Those are very potential hold levels. And even under 43.60, you still have the 20 SMA, you still have the 200 SMA down at 43.40. So the ES has been tough, right? I've had a little bit of a difficulty reading the ES lately. You have so many just sort of sideways, you're pretty much sideways, right? Overall, you did break out of this little flag that we were talking about. So you are still breaking out technically, maybe creating a higher low outside of this flag on the ES. But shorting it is sort of tough in my opinion. You got demand and you got demand sort of stacked up below, right? Stacked up below at 43.80 and 43.60. If I zoom out, really, and we just sort of take these levels off our screen for a second, right? And let's sort of just get the full picture here. If I just take all these levels off the charts right here, you're pretty much just sideways, right? Keep that in mind. You're pretty much just sideways with heavy ass supply at 44.10 and heavy demand below at 43.40. That's pretty much all you're doing as of right now. And so are you going to walk away from the screen after a trading day and say, damn, did I miss huge opportunities? Not really, right? Not if the SPY and ES is completely sideways. So once again, right, sometimes in trading, it's our job to be patient. It's our job to understand market conditions. As of right now, the ES is really not showing you much, right? It's not showing you much. So I'd watch 43.80. I'd watch 43.60 today. And of course, I would obviously be watching the supply above, right? If we get a push up into supply, if we get a push up into 44.10, 44.20, then absolutely I'll be looking for that supply to step in. SPY, big ass channel. That's all it is, right? You guys see right here. It's nothing but a channel, right? You can see it right there. 437, 438, right? Heavy supply above. You also have the 50 and 100 SMA just sort of putting the pressure on the downside, right? This is basically just acting as a ceiling, right? As that 50 and 100 SMA come here, right? You're basically just acting as a ceiling on the SPY, as of now, of course. Now, if the SPY rips above it, right, and starts to change direction here, then obviously that could create some really nice upside opportunity. But for now, you can clearly see the supply, you can see the 50 and the 100, and it's absolutely creating pressure on the downside. So that's something to be paying attention to. If the SPY rips higher today, you probably could find a little bit of a short opportunity here, right? You could probably look to see, hey, SPY's pushing into supply, SPY's pushing into the 50 and 100. Let me see if the price action starts to get weak up here, and maybe I could look for a little bit of a short opportunity. Now, same thing to the downside. If you move down into demand today, 431 in that 20 SMA, possible upside long, right? Around that level. If you break under 431, that's when things can get a little bit more exciting, right? If you break under 431, that's where things can get a little bit more exciting. If you turn this low into a rejection, if you turn this previous high into a rejection, and you start to break this channel to the downside, that's where things can get a little bit more aggressive and where you could take, more opportunity, right? So 431, demand, 437, supply. I wish I had more for you guys, but it really is just a channel. It really is just a channel. All right, let's see if there's any movement off housing starts, building permits here. I doubt it. We'll see if there's anything. I'll go to the SPY. Let's see if the news even comes up here on the SPY. Nope. Nothing. Nothing. Press that like button. 1,900 people. There's building permits. 1,900 people. 600 likes. Press the like button. I'm going to have to run an ad here. I'm going to have to run an ad. You know? That's just what I'm going to have to do if we're not getting the likes. How about this? 1,000 likes before... Is it... All right, here it is. Rule of the live stream. This is the new rule on the live stream. And I'm going to stick by it. If we don't have 1,000 likes by 8:30, we're running ads. If we have 1,000 likes by 8:30, no ads. Okay? That's it. That's the new rule. It seems like 8:30 is like right in the middle of the live stream. It usually takes me exactly like a half an hour to run through the futures analysis and where we start to jump into our stocks. So 8:30 is where we jump into stocks. At 8:30, if we don't have 1,000 likes on the live stream, we're running ads. That's it. That's it. So we're running an ad. All right? Here we go. Cry. Get out. Get him out. Get Mr. Finesse out. Get him out. All right. He's out. All right. So 8:30. Here we go. So let's get into some stocks. Tesla. So Tesla has earnings today, right? Tesla has earnings today. I don't have any short-term levels for you on Tesla. I am not going to be the guy that that influences someone to trade short-term when Tesla has earnings after hours. I'm not going to do it. Okay? I'll give you the larger term look today. I'll give you the more, high level view, and then you can sort of decide what you want to do today. My piece of advice for you guys, for anyone that has any interest in my advice, is that I would leave Tesla alone today. I would make sure that you be very cautious trading intraday action. The IV is going to be very high. The option contracts are going to be expensive. The price action is likely going to be choppy. It always is before earnings. I would be very careful looking to trade Tesla today, right? I don't think it's going to be a clean trade. Tomorrow, I'm going to be all over Tesla, right? I'm going to be all over Tesla because it's going to have a continuation move, and there's going to be, maybe the IV will decrease, right? The option contracts will be decreased. All right, maybe we get some IV crush, and then we can take advantage of a move. Today, worst day to trade Tesla. This is basically when, people are laughing at option buyers, right? They're just selling them the premium. The premium's decreasing all day. You're basically just buying into a slow grind of premium, which I would just not want to be a part of. So, 4-hour chart on Tesla, you can see the wedge, right? That is a monster wedge on Tesla. 4-hour monster wedge on Tesla. I'm hoping that we see the break, right, on earnings. I'm hoping that we see the break on earnings. That would be really nice, right? Would give us some juice, which is what we really need. So this is what I'm watching on Tesla today, right? I'm not trading intraday. I'm just going to hope to see if the market can react or if Tesla can react outside of this channel post earnings, and then we can reassess it tomorrow, okay? Netflix has been in a pretty steady downside move since for some time into earnings here, right? Netflix has been sort of just dying off into earnings. So interesting. I really don't have much for you again here, right? My level up here did not hold around that 370. So I don't have much for you. I'm just going to say this again, right? Trading Netflix into earnings is going to be dangerous, right? It's not going to be the best price action. Looks like you actually broke. Yeah, you did break this pretty good, right? You broke that uptrend on Netflix, which is very interesting. So let's see what happens, right? Tomorrow we get more in depth on Netflix. We'll take a closer look on it after earnings tomorrow. Now, let's get into the stocks that I'm looking to trade. Oh, let's go to the expected move. Sorry. Let's look at the stocks that I'm looking to trade today. So, trade, monitor, trade. Yep. No, not trade. Yeah. Okay, Netflix. Expected move on Netflix, $26 right now. So it's about 7-8%, right? Expected move is about 8% on Netflix post earnings. That's going to go up in intraday. Tesla's about $12. So $12 expected move on Tesla, that's about 5%. Netflix expected move about 7-8%, right? All right, so let's get started. Or let's continue, I guess. Where did I have... Is it on charts? Yeah. All right, here we go. NVIDIA. 15-minute chart. Let's go to the 1 hour. This is our level today. I got to get more time. This is our level today. Right here. 430. Right? 430 is our level on NVIDIA today. You can see right here. 430 triple bottom. 430 previous highs. 430 support. Right? Look at what NVIDIA is trading into today. We are trading right into 430. Where else did 430 hold? 430 is the exact level that we held yesterday, right? 430, big demand bounce. So you are coming right into it, 430. So what are we watching today? I'm thinking that we are watching, does 430 turn into a rejection point today? Or does NVIDIA break and does NVIDIA hold under that level? And if it does, we can look for that downside continuation. Now, if NVIDIA does hold over 430, these are the rejection points that I will be looking for. And these were the same rejection points that I looked for yesterday, and they worked out very nicely. So, if NVIDIA does get some type of a 430 bounce today, you're looking for rejections at the 20 and 100 SMA near 440. And if it gets above 440, you're looking for rejections at 450, which is the 50 SMA. Right? And so if I zoom back out here, you're going to see why, right? Why am I looking for those levels as rejections? Let me get a little bit more time. So you guys can see right here, right? If we get a bounce off 430 today, why not look for the retest of these previous lows, right? Right here. See these lows right here? You can see we had previous lows here at 440. If I could get this to work, 440, 440. Right? So if we get some type of a bounce here today off 430, I'm going to look for that rejection right there, right? That could be a very nice rejection play. If we get some type of a bounce over that, right, 450 is that next watch. Now, of course, right, there could be some upside trades here on NVIDIA today. If we start to see demand step in at 430, you could look for that demand hold, right? You could look for that opportunity for upside off that key demand level. That's absolutely possible. However, just be cautious of that 100 and that 20 SMA right here around 440. This is probably my favorite trade of the day. If I can see some type of a straight up move at open, sort of a weak bounce off 430 into 440, I would love to look to fade that rejection point at 440 today. Line that up with the 100 SMA, that would give me a lot of confidence. I'm a little bit cautious shorting NVIDIA before some type of a fake bounce, right? If we don't get that fake bounce, if we don't get some kind of a move we can fade into, I'm just a little bit cautious shorting into some of these previous highs and some into these demand lows, right? This 430, it might be strong and it might be tricky, right? It might be strong and it might be tricky. So this 430 zone right here, where all these demands step up, right? That is a pretty... it's a pretty tough zone, and I'd be a little bit cautious shorting it after the downside we've seen so aggressive so far. So 430, just be a little bit careful around there. If we get something really clear under 430, then maybe that could set up a nice short-term scalp. But 430 is definitely going to be the battle zone today. So be cautious around that level. Make sure you really monitor the price action around that 430 level. New York, thank you, brother. As always, thank you for all the support, and I appreciate your donations. Thank you so much, man. New York, you're the best. Dewey, welcome to the streams, Dewey. All right, AMD. AMD is the other name that I really like today. I really like this setup, and I hope it doesn't get away from us. I hope it doesn't get away from us because this is setting up very, very nicely. 105 AMD, right? We talked about this yesterday. Look what AMD is doing this morning. We had this 4-hour uptrend on AMD, which was invalidated yesterday, right? Broke. We broke it. We did come back up. We rejected, and now we're moving lower, right? So this 4-hour uptrend, to me, has been invalidated. And that key level was $105 a share, right? 105, 105, 105. And look at where AMD is under today. So what am I looking for? If I see AMD bounce today into 105, into that 50 SMA, I would love to look for that fade, right? I would love to look for that fade today on AMD. I hope I get something of that move, right? I hope I see something of a bounce. Yesterday, AMD opened and just went straight down, right? If you guys remember, we were talking about this idea yesterday. But look at the open on AMD, right? The open just went like this. Bam, right? There was no bounce. There was no retest and rejection. It was just a straight down move. So I'm hoping I don't see that again today, right? I'm hoping for at least some type of a bounce towards this 105, even if it's like this 104.40, even if it's like this 104.80, I'll start to build that position. But 105 is going to be the level that I would love to see a retest of these previous lows, right? That's what I'm looking for. Retest of the previous lows, show rejections, and then we can short that thing with a stop loss over 105. So that's going to be a big watch for me today. I think it's a very clean potential setup. Demand is below around 102 in that 20 SMA. You got to be careful of that. Google, Meta, Amazon Shop. Google, Meta, Amazon Shop. Google. So Google's slapping me around, man. Pretty much every day of this week, I've taken like a $300-400 loss on Google. Yesterday is no exception, right? I'm still holding some unrealized losses on Google, but I'm not going to give up on trying to take this short side play until it really invalidates my idea. I am looking for this 4-hour trend break on Google. The reason why I want to go for it is because, one, NVIDIA broke, right? Let's look at the trend breaks that have been happening, right? The modding you does nothing, winning. Oh, modding you on your premium account. What's your premium account, winning? Let me know what the premium is. So 4-hour trend break, right? NVIDIA, right? Look at that. That was very nice. Very juicy opportunity on NVIDIA, right? On the 4-hour trend break. Tesla, same thing, right? Look at this. 4-hour trend break, right? 4-hour trend break. Very nice. There's another one. I think it was Apple. Yeah, Apple, another one, right? Apple, another one. This little trend, broken, right? So, I'm interested, right? Does this happen on Google next? So I'm gonna see. You know, I'm throwing a little bit of money in this. I'm having a little bit of size, and I'm looking to see. If this 140, 141 area could turn into a rejection point and could see that downside move, right? That's what I'm looking for, right? That's what I'm looking for. So 140, 141, looking for those rejections. Yeah, would love to see it, right? Would love to see it. Definitely going to be watching that 140, 141 supply, keeping an eye on that area. All right, there you go, Winnie. All right, so that's my watch today, right? And my stop loss is above 141.35, right? 141.35. That's my stop loss, right? You can see previous lows. You got your highs. You got your highs, right? And so that's my stop loss on this idea, looking for the 4-hour trend break. We'll see what happens. That's my idea as of now. Meta, Amazon Shop. Meta, Amazon Shop. So here's Meta, right? And look at this. This is very interesting today. Meta's been pretty clean, right? Meta's been pretty clean. So let's watch it again today. You guys can see right here. Highs, lows, right? And look at what happened yesterday. Look at what happened yesterday. So, 325, 325, 325, 325. Where are we at today? We're right under 325. So, if Meta pushes into 325 and rejects, downside, right? If Meta gets over 325, upside. 325, that's the level to watch. That's my key level today. Watch for demand under at 320. Did I say Apple? No, Amazon. Because Apple's a shit show right now. All right, last one, or second to last one I got for you today is Amazon. All I'm going to share with you on Amazon, it's really not that interesting to me right now, but what I'm going to share with you on Amazon is the channel. 129 demand, 133 supply, right? So if you see Amazon at these lows, then look for the demand. If you see Amazon at these highs, look for the supply. If you see Amazon under 129 here, very potential downside. If the market gets weak and Amazon breaks under 129, very potential downside rejection of previous double bottom lows. And on top of that, the 20 SMA, right? So if you get under that 129, that's a big watch there on Amazon, all right? Last one I got for you guys to end the show, end the stream, is Shopify. I just wanted to share with you this daily chart on Shop. I think this is an interesting hold that's going on Shopify here. You're going to obviously need market strength for this to work out, right? You're obviously going to need some market juice for this to work out. But Shopify is holding right at this 50 level, which is previous highs and previous lows, right? You can see that right there. 50 previous lows, 50 previous highs, and look at the hold that's been stepping in here on Shopify at 50. So let's see, right? This could be a little bit of a risk reward along here. It absolutely could. If the market can show some upside, I'll definitely be watching out for that Shopify $50 level. All right? All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. It's 8:47. Time for me to jump out. Time for me to go to the chat and do some preparing with the group, get our watch list going and all that good stuff. So thank you guys again for all the support. Thank you for pressing that like button today. I appreciate it. Hopefully you had a little bit of fun. We did kick someone out today. So he's probably still watching, but he can't type in the chat. So that's fine, right? But we were able to get someone out today. We need some more. I need some more characters. It makes it fun. So thank you guys again for everything. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all your support as always. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah. Peace.